podcast for nerds, unapologetic truths that are put in these words. Voice Junkie, a place to talk sports, politics, and pop culture. See who's holding the torch. Voice Junkie, who's saying the best? None other than the protagonist, Mr. Chuck West. Voice Junkie. Now tune in and listen to Trendaholics in full effect and giving you wisdom.
Welcome to episode 91 of the Voice Junkie podcast, sponsored and brought to you by the Trendaholic and Chuck Westworld. Enjoy the show, bitch.
All right, now, welcome to the show. Just to get you going, we got to get into the World Series. Get it out the way. First and foremost, last night's World Series easily was probably the best World Series I've ever seen. I'm going to get into the toss-up between the two World Series that I have neck and neck with each other. The 2001 World Series between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the New York Yankees. That World Series against this year's World Series, they kind of neck and neck for me because that one was underrated. I'll get into that a little later on, but let's just talk about the World Series. So many different things to go through. Let's just try to keep it focused on Game 7 in particular. I mean, Game 7 was easily one of the best Game 7s in baseball. If you ever watched a Game 7, this one is definitely topping the list. You had all type of drama. I mean, listen, last night's World Series, Game 7, was instant classic. With the Los Angeles Dodgers, defeating the Blue Jays 5-4, right? But before you get to that, it was in the 11th inning. It was a thriller, like another extra inning thriller that you got. You had that, I believe it was Game 3 when Freddie Freeman hit that home run in the 18th inning, which was the longest game ever as far as playoffs are concerned, for sure. But there were key moments in the game. First and foremost, the Dodgers trailed in the game. They were down 3-0 after, I believe, the third or fourth. It was 3-0, 3-1 in the fourth or fifth inning. They got to Shohei Ohtani. They hit a home run. I believe it was Brun. I can't even say his name. The guy that hits after Vladimir Guerrero Jr. After a dramatic comeback, of course, like I said, they were behind. Dodgers catcher Will Smith hit a go-ahead home run, solo home run right at the top of the 11th inning to put them ahead 5-4. But they hunted them down slowly but surely with a lot of great defense, like Rojas with the game-saving defensive play at second when the bases were loaded. And then, they hit into the ground play where he backed up, grabbed the ball, stumbled a little bit, and then threw it home. And then Will Smith caught the ball, of course, but his foot came off the base for a little bit, and then he got it on right at the split second before the guy slid in home to win the game. So Toronto had the bases loaded in the 9th inning. Total drama. They had one out and the bases loaded. So they had their opportunity to close it out. And that's why it's gut-wrenching that this happened to them. But we'll get into the drama and the emotions of what happens next to Toronto. This is one of them tough losses. It's hard to scrape yourself off the ground after you lose like this. But, again, they came back. Miguel Rojas, Rojas was not doing anything in the World Series. I mean, the guy couldn't hit a butterfly. He couldn't hit anything. He was struggling mightily. And his only saving grace was that every time he's in the lineup, for some reason, Mookie Betts hits well or does well. So it was Dave Roberts, bro. I'll get into Dave Roberts too. I'm jumping all over the place because there's so many great points to be made as far as how the series went, the moves that were made on a managerial level. It was a lot of chess that was being played out there, and Dave Roberts showed his ass when it came to his strategic thinking and how he puts his players in the right places. Say what you want about their payroll and how they're able to get certain players. First and foremost, if you're a Yankee fan, you should shut the hell up. Your team's been doing that for decades, generations, buying whoever the hell they want. Hello, A-Rod, Mark Teixeira. I can go on and on and on and on. Roger Clemens. Do you want me to continue? No. So if you're a Yankees fan, just shut up. The Dodgers are the new Yankees now. They got the budget, they got the management to manage the budget, and they got the talent that comes and shows up and performs when they need to perform. How can you hate? They weren't a juggernaut this year. They didn't win their division this year. They had to scrap it through. Just because you have a mega lineup, this big budget of players, don't mean you're necessarily going to win the World Series. Hence, the thing that the Dodgers did last night is so major. It's major because it hasn't been done in 25 years since the Yankees last did it. Teams don't just win back-to-backs in baseball. It doesn't happen often. It was the Yankees 25 years ago, and before then it was like almost 30 years ago with the Cincinnati Reds in the 70s. It doesn't happen. And baseball's been around a long, long time. So it just tells you how important and how big that victory was for them because it doesn't happen, like I just said. And the Blue Jays, man, again, let me get into, again, how they took the lead. Like the Blue Jays took a 3-0 lead with a 3-run home run off of with Bo Bichette off of Shohei Ohtani. So that was Bo Bichette. I said I didn't know his name, but that's his name. Dude could hit his ass off. He didn't play through the playoffs because he was going through injuries with his bad knee. And he made it back in time in the middle of this series to become a key pivotal player for the Blue Jays to, get them to the point where they could have won this whole thing. But again, he put them up 3-0 in the third inning, hit a 3-run home run off of Shohei Ohtani. Now, Ohtani, not making any excuses, but the dude is playing starting pitching and he's hitting home runs on the other side. He's playing two positions. So, of course, he was going to wear down at some point, especially if you're in a game 7. He's a human being. He's not leaking. I mean, if he was a robot, he would be leaking oil because he's being overworked. So, he's a human being. Of course, he was going to slow down. Of course, they were going to eventually get to him, especially with that Blue Jays lineup. That lineup is insane. I earned some extra respect. As a Red Sox fan, I earned some respect with that lineup throughout the playoffs, but specifically against this Dodgers team. I didn't think that they were going to hit this starting pitching the way they did. And furthermore, I didn't expect them to pitch as well as they pitched against the Dodgers lineup. The Dodgers didn't hit very well in this series. They barely hit at all, but they hit when they had to. That's why they call it timely hitting. It's not all about hitting a bunch of home runs all the time. It's about hitting the right amount of runs at the right times. And they did that. That's what champions do. Champions know how to fucking win. Period. Doesn't matter what sport it is. It's facts of life. And that's what turned out to happen. Blue Jays didn't put enough points on the board. And the Dodgers tracked their ass down and won the game ultimately. That's exactly what happened. So they tracked them down. They won the game. But they won the game because of one guy, one main player. Everybody played a part. I mean, it was defensive plays all over the game. I didn't get into all of that. You got a lot of baseball analysts and a lot of other post-game shows who got into that in depth. Like I watched FS1, I watched Fox's post-game show, which is great. I mean, you got Derek Jeter, you got cheating ass Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, he's a cheater, but you know what? That motherfucker knows how to talk baseball. I give it to him. You know what I'm saying? But you got him up there. And then you got, come on, Red Sox legend David Ortiz. And all these guys on that panel are legends, Hall of Famers. I mean, A-Rod's not and probably won't get in because he's a cheater. But those guys, David Ortiz, Jeter, these guys have, Ortiz has won 3 championships. Jeter, I think Jeter's won 4 or 5. So, you know what I mean? Like, these guys know what it takes. These guys are some of the most clutch baseball performers of all time. And this sport's been around for over 100 years. So you're going to listen to what the hell they have to say. So hearing what they had to say throughout the series was just great, man. Fox has a great show. I give them credit. So they went through all of that. They dove deep into why and how things got to the way they got. I mean, how they got to where they got. And Ortiz said it, man. He had a sneaky suspicion that, champions and experience would show up in Game 7, and it did. And Yoshinobu, I gotta say his name right. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's it. Yamamoto. That dude pitched lights out. Two complete games in the playoffs, which is just like doesn't happen often. He had one in the World Series. He pitched in Game 6. He pitched and won that game. Gave up only a run, and then he came back to pitch in relief 3 innings and struck out guys and got through that game. I mean, he did something that hasn't been done in like 100 years as far as the usage of a pitcher. Randy Johnson, again, he did this. He did a version of this in the 2001 World Series against the Yankees. Again, I'll get to that in a second. And that was impressive. And I remember watching that series. I remember following it throughout, and that team was good. I'll get to that in a second. I can't wait to get to it. But yeah, I mean, he performed at a level that no one's seen. You've seen a lot of big performances from Shohei, and it just tells you how great Yamamoto was. Because Shohei, if without Yamamoto in the series and they somehow win, first of all, they wasn't going to win without Yamamoto, but he was so great that it took away from Shohei's greatness, because Shohei Ohtani was great. He probably would have been second runner up as far as MVP is concerned, but it was a no-brainer. Yamamoto just dominated throughout the series, and he was just that stopper that like the Arizona Diamondbacks had in that 2001 year, that magical run that they had. They had top tier, stop it right now pitching. Like that pitcher that you just put in, they had 2 of them. They had Curt Schilling. Yeah, they had Curt Schilling, and they had Randy effing Johnson. They had a dual threat in that World Series. It took that type of dominant pitching, stopper performances, like stopper type pitchers, to stop a team in the Yankees who were going to win 4 straight championships. People forget this because a lot of you guys weren't alive at this time, or you were alive or weren't following the game because you were too young to follow at the time. Yeah. The Yankees, man, they were going 4 straight. And as a Red Sox fan, you were sick to your stomach watching all the success as your team was floundering and trying to figure out their identity. But yeah, these guys were going to win 4 straight and almost did it. And it took heroic performances from like Luis Gonzalez. I think I got his name right. I hope I do. Because he hit the game-winning hit off of Mariano Rivera in Game 7 to win the series in extras. That was if you don't know, go YouTube it, whatever kind of platform or AI it, find the source. That was an incredible series. That 2001 series against, the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the New York Yankees. Watch that one, or at least get familiar with it. Then you can kind of compare it to the one that we just witnessed this year. Because that's the only one that I can compare as far as the greatest series I've seen. Because that Yankee series, people, if you were alive at that time, they were like the evil empire, man. The Pinstripes were the evil empire. It was like, okay, load it up. They're going to win another one. All right, is the series over? People didn't think the Arizona Diamondbacks had a chance at all. I knew they did because I knew they had stud pitchers at the top of their depth chart. Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson. So I knew they had a shot even at that time. But, the general media didn't think they had a chance in hell. But they won. And they stopped the Yankees from winning 4 straight. And then the Yankees didn't win another championship for, over a decade later or more. You know, a couple years later, I say like I'm on the team. The Red Sox have their historical comeback in '04, where they came back 7 games, down 3-0, and beat the Yankees. And that's what kind of changed everything in regards to the power of the East and as far as baseball is concerned. But anyway, like I said, to me, that is probably the best 2 World Series I've ever seen personally in my life that I followed the game. 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Yankees, and this year's 2025 Toronto Blue Jays versus LA Dodgers. Now, let's get into the fun stuff, the collateral damage of the game, the stuff that happens after. Now, I didn't get into what the celebrities had to say and all of that, but I do know what the hell Nike had to say. It's funny how Nike had that Kendrick Lamar commercial queued up right when the results were done and everybody knew that the LA Dodgers did the incredible repeat and won the World Series. They came out with like ending credits to the season and like this cool little like short video that had Squabble Up playing in the background, Kendrick Lamar. Blue and white all through it. Another L for Toronto. And you know who? The boy. Aubrey Drake Graham. Man, this dude cannot catch a win to save his life, man. I've never seen, this is a segue now. This is a segue into the Drake lawsuit. Perfect segue. This is what I do, right? Look at that. You see that? No producer. I'm the producer. Look at that. Segue from that from Toronto losing into Drake losing in court again. So the Drake lawsuit, I had to share about it because I know I didn't want to. I don't want to talk about this dude anymore, but he's forcing us to talk about him, and not the most positive of ways, because he keeps doing sucker shit. He keeps doing self-absorbed things that only happen with a person that, probably aren't getting the best advice, or B, just are completely isolated from and separated from reality. And I think it's kind of all of the above when it comes to him. Like, it's gotten to the point now where it's not just sad, it's annoying. It's all the above when it comes to emotions. It's sad, it's annoying, it's embarrassing. It's like, enough, man. Wrap it up. You lost, man. You lost. Let it go, Aubrey. Let it go. Like, the judge disrespected your lawyer, told you all the reasons as to why this is just the most frivolous of lawsuits, and as to why this isn't I think what's getting lost in this is that this is an attack on creative freedom of speech in the music and hip hop specifically. Drake has gone full white man in an effort to save his dwindling reputation with the public. He's gone full white man. Bring it to the courts. Burn it all down. Let's burn everything that Chuck D and Public Enemy worked for. Let's burn everything Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, NWA worked for, as far as express yourself, the freedom of speech to say things, fighting the government, the feds, all of this shit. And last but not least, I would be remiss not to bring up Uncle Luke, who fought the feds to have the right to talk about tits and ass and twerking and all that shit that all these chicks with the BBLs are getting paid for. Uncle Luke should get a check from every one of these broads, because he went to fucking court to fight for the right so you can shake your ass and make money on a record, in a video. It's because of Uncle Luke. Drake is he was trying to burn all of that down because he can't take an L. It's deeper than what you think about your favorite artists. It's deeper than that. It's the ramifications that comes with it. That's why this is deeper. And this is why people who follow the business, who are true hip hop heads like myself and others, who hold the fort down in this shit, who grew up in this, not just through music, through lifestyle, through poverty, through whatever that gravitated you to hip hop. Drake grew up with his white Jewish mother. He didn't grow up with his pops. He didn't do that. So he's just acting in the way he only knows best, the way he grew up. The white man way. And he's going out in a blazing, sad glory. Hey, it is what it is, man. It's gotten to the point now where I don't even want to hear this motherfucker in my car anymore. And it wasn't never that way. Like, I could accept the losses. Dudes take losses all the time. You know, if you're an artist, that's what it is, especially in this competitive rap business. Hip hop is a competitive sport. But when you can't accept that and you keep stumbling and fumbling, I can come up with a million analogies, but the point is the point, man. You're going out in a sad blaze of glory because of your own ego. And now that we are where we are and we're all watching it, it's like, what now? You're gonna appeal this dismissal in an effort for what? What effort for what? What do you win from any of this? That's the question. You keep drawing up old wounds. You know, Squabble Up is gonna probably hit the charts again. Hell, we might bring back Not Like Us again. Not because we are doing it, it's because you're doing it. By this stupid, frivolous ass lawsuit. But it is what it is, man. I'm done talking about this fucking clown. And I'm at the point when I'm done listening to his music. End of discussion. Let's talk about Netflix real quick. Netflix is officially looking at buying the rights to Warner Media streaming rights, all of that media good funness that we like most. The HBO Max property, the DC Comics property. That bundle of joy is what Netflix is now officially looking at. They hired some, people to look into it. You know how that goes when people look into acquisitions. They want to know what they are getting. So to HBO Discovery's credit, they did open up the books. They did open up themselves as a company for anyone to come see. Look at the books. Look at what's profitable. Look at what's not. So they are following through what I kind of feared they wouldn't do. And the rumors suggested that they were open to splitting up the business, selling off parts, not just selling the whole company as a whole. Because we've been there a million times. We got the video up. That was in episode 90. Check it out, of the Voice Junkie podcast. Me and my boy JB, we broke that down in deep detail. It's a 2-hour episode. So I'm not going to relitigate what I already went through deep, in depth as far as why I think Netflix is the best choice for this property. And you could just imagine if Netflix got their hands on a DC Comics, what they can do with those characters. We already know how they get down on the TV side. We seen it through, their Marvel Universe. Daredevil is hot because of Netflix.
Voice Junkie.